hat.
Got it.
Good. So, and if you can talk with us a little bit about title, what to look out for, what to pay attention when we look at a prelim. I can share something random, so that okay, let me get this going.
I have a question.
I'll open a prelim now. It's not yours, but I'll just open something that I was looking at today for client. Hold on here. It's from Chicago Title. It doesn't matter. We'll just open what we've got.
All the prelims are kind of the same.
Okay. Okay, you guys see it?
Yep.
Okay, so a prelim title report usually takes, what would you say, Anne, about a week to order to get
well right now, since things are a little slower just because inventory is down a little bit, we're getting them as early as one day, so that's good. Okay. When it gets busy, like during the pandemic when it was so crazy, yes, they could take up to a week.
Okay, so that's when you want to plan ahead of time and then get it done, because you can't really close without this.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and this, this at the beginning, it's going to talk about the addresses, and this is the address of the property that it's doing right now, and then it goes into the interest or the vested in. Okay, so a fee, interest, and then a vested in, and you can take it off right now.
Yeah, the first thing you want to do when you get your preliminary report, and of course, when you open a pre-sale escrow, that's the first thing you're going to get is your preliminary report. And it's really important that you look at this page and make sure that the address is correct and that the vesting is correct of your clients. Make sure their clients' names are spelled correctly and everything else. And the only reason we say that is sometimes if we're not doing a statement of information and the name is very, very familiar, like Smith, or, then it could be the wrong Kevin and Jan Smith tied to the property just because of an error from the recorder's office or something. So it's really important that we look at that. Now, a lot of times what we do at my office is we're going to look at a property profile firsthand and make sure we make sure this vesting matches this vesting and that we're all okay. And that's definitely your clients. So you don't really have to worry about the word fee. It's just, there's two different types. You're going to mostly see a fee-based title report. Doesn't mean you're paying a fee for it. It's just the type of, it's their little Q word for their type of preliminary report. I don't know what the next page is.
Well, another thing here, it says family trust.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to make sure if it's in a trust. That's if you weren't sure from the beginning, from a property profile that was in a trust, we'll let you usually know from the beginning if it's in a trust. We need a copy of the trust in order to perform our escrow. We have to read through that trust because there might be little idiosyncrasies in there that we have to take care of before we close escrow. So the first, that when you're writing a listing and you know that your clients have a trust, and it says here on the preliminary title report that it's in a trust, then you want to get a trust advisory that you add onto the disclosure packages. And in addition, you also want to ask your clients to send it the trust papers to the title company. Yeah. And we'll return it. This isn't something that has to be recorded. We just need to read the trust. And then, so if they send us an original, which they don't need to do, but if they do, we will absolutely return that to them. Title just has to review that.
And now, what does that mean, trust? Trust could be that, elderly family members put the house on a trust. It could be that I want to put the house on a trust that I'm buying, because it removes anybody that has interest in the property or has interest in your money. It removes them away before they can do anything because it's in a trust. Can you explain it in a different way, Anne?
Basically, like my husband and I put it into a trust with our kids named in the trust should anything happen to us. So that's kind of what they'll do, is they'll create a family trust. The most important thing that you really need to know when it's in a trust, and what your clients need to know, is at closing, when we disperse, the money has to go into a trust account, not a personal bank account. It has to go in an account specifically set up at the bank under that trust name. So a lot of people don't realize that. And when it's time for us to close escrow and send the seller their proceeds, that they don't have a trust account set up, and it can delay them getting their proceeds.
Okay. And then also the trust itself is done by an attorney, correct?
Yeah. Yes. Most trusts are done by an attorney. They should have a copy of the trust. And so when they send it to us, we'll review it. We read through it, title reads through it, and we make sure there aren't, if there's anything in there that we need to be aware of, we'll call you immediately and say, according to this trust, everybody listed in the trust must come and sign documents, or according to this trust, something like that. We have to make sure we read it and cover anything in there that is important on our side of the business in issuing title insurance.
So if Royce, and in this case, if Royce and Mary passed, then the trustees are the ones that are signing the documentation.
Right. And in that particular case, we would ask for a death certificate of Royce and Mary, and make sure we had a death certificate on file as well. So that's important. And if the trustees of the Bartel Family Trust were listed in there as being able to sign on behalf of Royce and Mary Bartel, then that's great. But they might not be listed as actual signees. So that opens another whole can of worms if there's a death.
Well, in this case, there was.
So it has to be specifically state that these people are allowed to sign. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Not just their trustees, they're also, what do you call it? Allowed to sign, I don't know, signees.
You know what? It totally depends on how that trust is written. Yeah.
So it can be different. It's not the norm. So it can change.
Yeah. I mean, basically when it's in a trust, if Royce and Mary died, then, and the children are named in the trust, then they are allowed, then they're listed to get the seller proceeds on the sale when it closes, which is probably all outlined in the trust, who are the trustees of the trust. Generally, they also have signing authority, and 99.9% of the cases, the trustees of that trust would have signing authority. So, and that's outlined in the trust, and those are the things that we read when we look at it to make sure. And then we make sure that they have a trust account set up for their proceeds upon close of escrow.
In addition, when it comes to us and what we do with the trust is when we do our disclosures, besides just adding a trust advisory to the buyer and having the sellers sign it, we also, they might be exempt from several types of documentation. If they've never lived there before, or then they might be exempt, or they might want to give it. So in this case, with this property itself, what they did is, because they didn't live in this property and it was their parents that lived here, they provided the disclosures from the previous owner because it was less than 2 years ago when they bought this. Okay, so you need to know what they do know, what they do not know, and you can ask for some documentations to be exempt because they have no knowledge of the property. Okay, but we can talk a little bit more about that. Next, Exhibit A.
This is just your legal description. It's written in legal speak, as you can tell. It just gives you, like for example, you'll see book 63 of maps at pages 29. Those are from old books that we used to do all of these maps and everything from, and it's just where this property has been outlined. So it's a basic legal description. We can go over that with you if there are any kinds of questions. We can always do a color-coded easement map if there's any easements or any questions that go along with your legal description. But it helps, this just helps our title department know exactly, the boundary lines.
Laura, your hand is still up. Do you have a question?
I do. I just want to go back a little bit on this information regarding the trust and the assignees and all of that information that goes that we read on when we get this inside a package, right? Who talks to the client about all the details? Is the title company? You get in touch with them and ask them the questions that needs to be addressed here, or we communicate with them?
And that's totally up to you. With your permission, we are very happy to go direct and speak to your clients about it and explain. And they may choose for us to go and talk to their trust attorney. We can do that too.
Okay.
We're happy to do that. Yep.
Okay.
Or we can go to you and explain it, and you can go to them. It just depends on what you want us to.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, when they're buyers and they are looking at this, I tell them to call the title company.
That's what I was asking. We just had a buyers, and then they're asking me all this question, and like we kind of refer them to the title company.
Yep. You can say my expert on this is Old Republic Title, and that's why I've built my team this way, and I want to put you in direct contact with them. We're happy to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the next is all these informations that the title company goes through. This is really for the title company. And you can explain that a little bit more.
Well, if this just goes over taxes, and you're starting to get into the meat of the prelim that you want to look at too. This is something that you could go over with your clients. Here that looks like they have a delinquent and a penalty on a second installment. This would be something maybe that you could have a conversation with your clients about. All of this will get
what
paid.
is that? What would that mean for a buyer?
First installment was paid in April of last year. The second installment looks like it was delinquent, and there was a penalty added for $887. Now, basically, we look at all of this and we go over it with their clients, because we can pay all this out of their seller proceeds, or the buyers are going to have to come in with this money. And if there are any liens or judgments, those kinds of things, we have to pay those off to clear title at close. So it's either, if it's a buyer's prelim, they got to come in with more money to pay that off. It's a seller's prelim, it comes out of their proceeds in the sale. And I'll tell you, the IRS lien gets paid very first if there's ever an IRS lien. So FYI. And
now, so would you call this an IRS lien, or this?
No, these are just their taxes. This is just their assessment, the taxes. IRS would be if their federal and taxes hadn't been paid, and they owe $200,000 to the IRS or something.
How is the penalty amount being determined?
Well, we're going to look all that up before we close escrow, and when we're preparing all the fees. We'll take care of all of this stuff and looking this up. This is why we have this preliminary report. And they may say by the time they get the prelim, we paid that. Fantastic. I just need a copy of that paid receipt. And we'll put that, we'll put that in our file to know that that's been paid.
So it's been amended.
Updated yet. So
okay.
Yeah,
and
same kind of thing with any other liens. If they had work done and there's a mechanics lien, they owe a contractor, $16,000, and he placed the lien on their property and it shows up on the prelim, we got to pay that. If they're late in paying their federal or state taxes, and the franchise tax board lien comes up, or an IRS lien, we have to pay that. If they paid it off, we just need a copy of it. That's all.
I see something here from Sunrun. I know that these people specifically have solar, Now, what does this mean? Does it mean they owe money to the Sunrun, or what does this mean?
So I would have to look closely at it, but some of the problem with solar is sometimes they own the solar, but they're,
Oh, she's cutting out. Rose.
And we can't hear
so
you.
knowing this particular thing, it could be it's a lease. Yeah, and that can get a little tricky, is paying, transferring the lease to the client that's
So here
purchasing the new buyer.
I'm not understanding that it's a lease. What I'm seeing is that there's an easement for access.
Okay, yeah,
repair,
an
and
easement.
rental.
Yep, and
So
that would show on
easement.
our easement map, so that they would know that they do have an easement for access, maintenance, and repair, and any removal of the solar energy system.
Because as far as they told me is that it was paid in full.
Okay,
Okay.
they probably own the solar.
Yes, they own it.
Yeah, it just gets
But the
transferred to the
easement
new
makes
buyer. That's
sense.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then modifications to the conditions and restrictions.
Yeah,
that
that's your
were done-
CC&Rs. Yeah.
CC&Rs were done in 1956. Tell us a little bit about CC&Rs.
Well, the thing with CC&Rs is these things can go back all the way, like you saw in this one in 1956. And sometimes you're going to see some very
Looks like this.
upsetting things in these CC&Rs, like racist comments and things that go back to the time of the day. So they aren't followed to the T like that anymore, but they're just the original old CC&R documents. So, but they just are, the basic covenants and restrictions on the property.
When it comes to HOA, you're going to have a stack of these here.
Oh,
Because everything that the HOA has to go into these CC&Rs.
And you also get all of the homeowners association newsletters. And I mean, that's just a massive amount of information.
Now, why?
But this is how they look. Yeah, they can be old. This is hard to read. They're interesting.
And now it's important to read them. And I'll give you guys an example of why. I had a contractor that wanted to buy this house in, it was in Palo Alto. And in the CC&Rs, it said, it was something old. It was maybe also done in the 15th century. They wrote that there's a circular driveway and a big tree that, over the time, those two lots were separated. But they said in the CC&Rs that they do not want that driveway to be taken out because it belonged to both families, and they agreed on having that there with that tree. It was going around the tree type thing. If we didn't take out that tree, we wouldn't be able to build on that lot. And if we couldn't build on that lot was not that valuable. Because of the CC&Rs written over here, which they said we cannot, the only other thing we could do is we can rescind the CC&Rs and make a change to it. But that process is a long process, correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, these are old original documents, like we said before, based way back in 1957 when they were written. So it's a process to update and change them.
So
sometimes you can do it through the city and just come to an agreement, sign some contracts from every party, but I don't know. I've never, that's a good question, Karen. I don't know how you would change old CC&Rs, but I guess it's doable.
Yeah, and it's time consuming, and for a contractor that wants to build a house, it's additional time consuming things such as changing zoning or changing CC&Rs that were made in the 15th century, which is most likely they would do, but it's just not a good property to put his money on.
Yeah.
Okay, so these things are important, even as even though they're very old, it's important for things like that.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're out of the CC&Rs. We'll get out there. and that's not it.
Let's see, okay. Oh, you're still showing the prelim?
I stopped showing that
Oh,
prelim because I lost it.
okay.
somewhere in the-
Yeah, I think, well, the rest of the prelim is basic stuff that are tight, that we can go over. But I think you showed the most important things is that, and in our prelim, we will have hyperlinks, by the way, so you can click on all these documents, including the CC&Rs. Most important thing is to remember to make sure the vesting is correct, your clients' names are correct, the address is correct. Go to that exceptions page. Make sure taxes are paid, make sure there are no liens or judgments. Now you'll see lists of mortgages on the property, and just those are general, that's fine. Mortgages, we could do all the payoffs and make sure we have clear title on the acceptance page. The very last page is your plat map, and that's what the legal description covers, in text. It's basically the map of that. We can give you Karen helped, nodded her head when I said we can give you the color-coded easement map, and those are really nice to have.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the last page is, and they do have a wire fraud advisory. And I make it even more, I always tell my clients, please remember that you do want to call the title company before you do any deposit.
100%.
Okay.
Absolutely. Wire fraud is still prevalent. A few years ago, this happened. And there literally are people that
I'm thinking,
lost their
which
home.
screen are you guys seeing? Are you seeing the one with the title?
Yes.
If he wants the exceptions from coverage.
Okay, so we're seeing this. Okay, yeah.
I want to ask a question, silly question. What is the major difference before like a preliminary? Like what is missing from the preliminary? From the,
So a preliminary report is a title company's offer to insure. Doesn't mean
Okay.
we will. Because once we get in and get a copy of the trust or get all this or, everything that comes through, now 99.9% of the time we're going to insure and there's not a problem. But sometimes that weren't reconveyed properly and there was identity theft and it takes a long time to get through some of those processes. So this is just our first research done on that property. So we call it our preliminary report.
it's not 100% research. You just showed a highlight and then you dig into each piece of the research, right?
Yeah, and it just starts the process.
Okay.
Like I said, in the exceptions page, they might say, I already paid this mechanics lien. Okay, that's great. Just send us a copy of that paid receipt and then we're good to go. So this is just our first preliminary look through on the title to alert you of anything that we see right now.
I see.
Yeah.
So would you say that the PIQ over here is the property that this title is about?
We don't really use the property in question. I guess, is that what that is?
I
was
think
about to
it's
ask that.
1552. So this seems if this is 1552, I think this is the one.
Yeah, they're showing the property. Yeah, that's the property. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so you're saying that you would actually highlight this part?
Yeah, we would highlight that and show, but we would, if there were any easements, it's an easement map. What we do is show an easement. If there are no easements on the property, then
Is there an easement on this property? I don't see any.
it doesn't. Yeah. So we wouldn't provide a color-coded easement map because you don't have any easements. But we would go back to that page, Karen, where it said there's an easement to get access to the solar repair and so on. So that is something that we might want to show because the new buyers are going to say, where is this said easement that they have access to my property for solar maintenance and repair? So that's something that we would look at and say, okay, let's do some more research here and make sure that we find this easement. And that's just a plat map in your prelim. That's a basic plat map. A color-coded easement map would come separate, and that's going to show that solar easement or a PG&E easement or Maybe it'll show a shared driveway like you were talking about. Any kind of easement that they might have, we would show on there. In a separate document, a color-coded easement map.
So let me ask a quick question on that. So encroachment, I know what it is. When that word encroachment comes on the title report, what is the remediation? How do you guys deal with that? Like there's a fence that is built on your neighbor's property, like a 5-foot fence. I saw that on a disclosure. What that really means?
So sometimes that's in a title report and sometimes that isn't, because you would need a surveyor to show us that it was 5 feet in on their property. Yeah, that's where you have to go and they have to hire a surveyor because the neighbor might say, no, it isn't. I had that moved already, So that's sort of a situation where you're going to have to get a surveyor out and show that.
What about how much they bought this property for? Would they show that? Is this it?
Let's look at that. Let's see.
This looks like tax. It looks like physical year
taxes.
These assessment. This is an assessment tax.
Yeah, that comes on that property profile will show the transaction history within your property profile, the last sale amount, current mortgages. This should have all the current mortgages on here. And it should show the cost of sale.
The only conveyance affecting this.
And then all the mortgages owed.
Okay. I don't, right here, I don't see.
I don't see anything on their prelim. They're showing them that Alta policy is a loan policy.
Yeah, maybe it was cash. I don't know, but.
Yeah. There's your wire fraud alert.
Okay, but I do not see how much.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay.
Usually you'll see all of the mortgages, so everything that's due that we would pay off amounts for.
We're looking for title report, water prelim title report, advisory. That's an advisory. We're looking for a property profile and I don't see one. Okay.
That would be a second document as well. That's the first thing we do when you open an escrow is we pull the property profile and make sure we have the vesting correct. The prelim gets ordered right away. The minute we submit the pre-sale escrow and you get an escrow number, it's already gone to our title plant to start researching the property for our preliminary report. But we always will pull a property profile as well and look at the transaction history and make sure the vesting is correct and names are spelled correct.
Now, this specific property is in Santa Clara County. In Santa Clara County, the sellers are the ones that are paying for title and for escrow.
Yes.
And normally when that happens, they make the decision of who they're going to use.
Yeah, like if a pre-sale is already opened by the seller in Santa Clara County, it's very hard to move the escrow elsewhere because they're paying all the fees.
They're paying all the fees.
Whereas the opposite in San Mateo County, if a pre-sale is open with another title company, your buyer is paying the fees, so you technically have the choice to move it.
Okay, so so I'm just giving you guys heads up that you can move it. Now, if you said to the buyer, hey, I'm going to close in 15 days, I don't know.
Yeah, it's as much as I want you to move every single escrow to my office. If it's a situation where they say, oh gosh, there's a detailed trust or there's a death certificate involved, or this is a probate, or we got a 10-day close, or we got that, that's when, you go and talk to Karen and say, I want to work with Ann's company, but is it risky? Sometimes it's better, unless you really dislike the other title company or escrow officer, you just don't work well with him or her. It's better just to keep it in place, So I agree with you, Karen. Sometimes, starting over isn't always the best.
Yeah, so it depends on the situation itself. you know, that would not be something I recommend.
Yeah.
I think that in the past that now we had, you know, 20-day close, 14-day close. It was, you know, you just went with wherever escrow was pre-opened. But now that we are closing in 30 days and we have more time, we can decide with our buyers who we want to close with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So can I?
That's
rephrase?
up to you guys.
So you said, did I hear this correct? You said the Santa Clara, the seller chooses, and then San Mateo, the buyer chooses the title company?
So if you have a listing, let's say in San Jose,
Okay,
and you open escrow with us at Old Republic Title in San Carlos, it will probably stay with us because your seller's paying the title and escrow fees because that property is in San Jose.
got it.
But if you are buying a property and it's opened with this, let's say Chicago Title, and it's open with Chicago Title, since their seller's paying and they've already opened escrow, you're the buyer, you're not paying the fees. You would probably most likely have to keep it there, because if you went to the seller and said, I want to move it to Old Republic Title San Carlos, they'd say, fine, then you pay the fees. Yeah,
Okay,
right. Yeah.
You know, so it depends where, what, but you know, so it depends where it is and what your terms are.
Yeah.
If you're going to change it or not change it.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
you can always look on our website or on an app, and there's a who pays, a quick link, who pays. You don't even have to log into the website. It's in a box below the login section. You can click on who pays. Let's say the property's in Contra Costa County or it's in Alameda County and you don't know who pays what. You can always look there.
So who pays have the option to like choose whoever they want to work with, basically.
Yeah.
So in San Mateo, the buyer chooses.
Yeah. Buyer chooses, and in Santa Clara, the seller chooses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything else, guys, that's coming up for you? Do you have the app for Anne?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
I have the app, I have some addresses, I sent some gold letters already.
Yeah, we got your addresses to you. Yep.
Yeah, thank you so much. Very helpful.
Absolutely. Now, this Thursday, we're having a class at 11 o'clock all about easements. So we talked a little bit about easements and where you might find them in a prelim or on an easement map. But if you want to jump on this, a title officer is going to go over and talk about easements. So if you want the link to that class, if you haven't already gotten it from me, let me know if you want to learn more about that. And then we'll, in November, we're doing a class on condo conversions. And then we'll wind up the year on preparing your farming for the new year. So as you're preparing your business plans and marketing plans in December, maybe for the new year, it's a good one to figure out some different farming techniques. That's in December. So always feel free to
That would
join
be
our
great.
classes.
Okay.
Can you elaborate in a few words? Condo conversions into what?
Well, this is a thing that happens mostly in San Francisco. We have tenants in common, which
Yes.
is where multiple people,
Mhm.
and then condo conversions. And do you know much about condo conversions, Karen? I'm not very well spoken in that, of what those exactly are.
Well, condo conversions is, let's say you have an owner that bought a multi-unit condo. Okay, and there's 8 units of condos in there. And what he does is he takes every single one of the units, he updates them, and he sells them individually. And that's the condo conversion. He's converting. He's changing them to single units, which can be bought by several people.
A big multi-family building. He's
Like
changing
so a multi-family building becomes, instead of a one building, it becomes these condos that you can buy. It really increases the value of the price that he can get over it, because now he's getting instead of, 8,000 square feet, he's getting, the appropriate amount for each 1,000 square feet of the doors. And then it's not a by door sale, but it's a by condo sale. So it's a private, sale. It takes putting together an HOA. There's quite a bit of work that gets done to convert a condo. It takes time, so it takes money. He has to upgrade it. It has to be part of, there's a lot of things that our owner needs to do, but it is very, very lucrative, very.
And then there's a whole different process that we go through in insuring those. So that's what our class is going to talk about, all of that.
Yeah.
That's November. Yeah.
What's the process, how long it takes, and, what does one need to do to get that going? Let's say you bought a building for 2 million, you basically can sell each individual unit and now be making 4 million on it.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference in price.
Got it.
Yeah.
You just have to come to our class on it.
So that's interesting, list class. Can we bring people that owns those, properties to learn along with us as a guest?
100%. Absolutely. Yep. You should
Okay.
be getting my invites, I hope, via email with a link
Okay.
to join. Are you getting those? Do you know?
I'm gonna check. I get so many emails
I
every
know that's the
time I
problem. They
blink.
can
It's
go
I
into
have to
a-
go through each one of them. But that's
Yeah.
a good value to offer to clients. Hey, you own a condominium. Do you want to learn with us? Do you want to come
Yeah,
along?
you can
That's my
learn more.
guess.
Absolutely invite your clients. Yeah. And this easement.
Maybe Anat
one's gonna
has
be
some
interesting.
people in San Francisco she can bring with her.
So a conversion of a condominium into a TIC.
Mhm.
They're gonna talk about all that stuff. I mean, we don't do much in San Mateo. That's why I don't know a lot about it. It's a lot of what they do in the city.
Yeah,
It'll be good
City's
for
a little
Anat.
different, more compact area in the city.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
And thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Ann. You're
much.
so sweet.
Ann.
With us today.
Oh, I love you guys. You're the best. Call me anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a
Bye.
restful night.
So I wanted to go over the numbers today. Mara was asking how to find certain numbers.
Average price, right?
I can tell you.
Yes.
It's
So-
actually, Karen, can I try and you correct me if I'm wrong? Because I was going through the same process.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna take
So
notes.
let's first of all, let's go into the one that we,
Talking, it's gonna go bathroom right next door.
the one that, let me go back to sheets, because the one we created,
I have updated mine.
you have what?
I have made updates this morning.
And is it corrected though? I don't know of it.
What do you mean?
No, wait. That's not the
Of
one.
course it's correct. It's a fresh data. Why wouldn't it?
No, not that's not what I meant.
Okay,
And what I meant is, let's look for it again. Come on, this is not the right one. I was looking for the one that I tried to create for us, that we can put the data in, which is Kovacs Team Core Data.
yeah,
Okay, and then Anat was in San Francisco.
yeah,
So is this the ones that you put in?
yeah. I put in all October information.
Okay,
So Mara,
What is the name of this document? It's
it's Kovacs Team Core Data.
okay.
so basically, when you go to your homepage for your MLS, did you create your market reports yet? Market watch reports?
No, I want to learn that.
Okay, it's actually quite simple.
You actually did it today, Mara, when you sent me that, that you sent me, what you sent me in text today.
Okay. I just did each one individually, then I type it in. the
It's
document.
actually, it's very simple. So when you go into your MLS homepage, you can create a different type of search.
Okay,
So
let's go.
when you go into, for example, quick search, this is what I used. It opens up and you can put in all of your criteria. So my interface looks different, but basically,
I use this.
but you need to create it. But you need to create it. So the way
Yeah.
you create it, you need to create. You need to start to do a search. Karen, click on that. Search. Top. Okay. And I did. Oh, it's so different. It's very different on my end. My option was.
Yeah, now it looks familiar to me.
Okay, so you create a quick search. It was on my end, and I would check in. For example, I want to see all residential properties, and then you click all the data you want to see. And what I have,
I did like a week or 1 week
So,
from last
single
month.
family homes active, and then I'm going to put the area. So which one was yours, for example, Mara?
Let's start with Daly. I have from Daly City to Belmont.
So Daly City, and
Yeah.
then you put, and then went Belmont.
And then I put list date, I put the 1 week.
So-
but
you-
no.
you
For
see what I'm doing?
example,
But I didn't do that card. I did 1 by 1 because I tried to do individually.
but listen, hear me out. So first, what happens on my end, I get to check all the information I want to know. So I want to see what's active. I want to see what's pending, what's
Yeah.
expired, and what's sold. So I check all those. Then I check, for example, today's the 17th. We wanna get reports for 7 days. So you check 13 to 17th would be your time frame. And when
Yeah, I
you
did that.
click, okay, when you click on that search, it shows you all the properties. So what I did, the difference is for me, I did all residential. I did not differentiate between single residency, condo, townhouse, TIC. I just click all residential. But
Oh no, I did
actually-
single family.
okay, you can do that and you have it right there. You can choose if it's going to be single family home or condo, whatever. And then when you create your report, when you run it, when you see it in front of you, I don't see it on your screen, but I have a function to save it, to save the report. And that's what you see on your home screen, the report that you see all this data, how many sold, how many pending. And then I can also run on the same report. I can click on statistics when you see it on top of the screen, our financial and statistics, and you see in printable form, and that will tell you what average days on the market for the 7 days. It's gonna tell you average.
That's what the average day.
What I do is I do this.
But yes, we have that too. However, it doesn't tell you the average price. You need to see the full report. You need to go to statistic, and that's where you see day in the market, average price, and some other information which we don't need. But yes.
So now because in the last 7 days, and I did mine in, mine was Belmont, Redwood City, San Carlos, you see?
Okay, so now so you did 3 cities. You're doing 3, you're not doing individual one like I did. I did 1 city.
No, there's no need for individual. I mean, you have an area that you're doing because we're trying to create charts.
So you're doing like the whole.
And then I go save, and then it tells me in the last 30 days, there's new listings 30. In the last 7, I can say in the last 3 days, in the last 2 days, you know?
So, okay, I got lost a little bit on that. When you go back to the initial page, just like how did you get to the market watch on your?
This?
You save it.
Oh, I got
So when you go to the first page, just
my
go to
matrix
the
dashboard. This first page, This one.
Yeah, so.
When you
what is-
create your
Yes.
initial search and you
It's a
put all your-
matrix. Okay, I don't go there. So I go to, yeah, no, I go to the one on the side, the little house.
There, go there.
when you create your initial search and you put all your criteria or whatever you want to know, at the very end, it gives you an option to save it and add it to your market watch. So
Oh, you
I
have
actually
that
have,
already set up, Karen? That's why yours shows different than mine?
yes.
Uh,
She has it set
yours,
up.
because I have a different, I have different cities on mine.
But you,
So
No,
mine shows 30 day, new listings 30 days, price increases have been 4. That's interesting.
I have seen that too.
What's that?
I've
Now I
seen
have-
it in San Francisco too. Many reductions, but also some increases, which was interesting.
so I don't
Karen,
see the tabular bar. That's what I don't see it on my end. Like the little bar that you had. I don't know how to get it from my MLS. So when I go on the first page,
This one?
when I go back to the first page and I open my MLS, right? If you press,
Pro. There.
so I go on the right up side where it says matrix.
Search.
I click there. I go that route.
Don't
Yes.
go there, go here.
Okay, that's what I'm doing wrong because I now makes sense. It's like, how? What is the difference? Matrix dashboard. Okay, so
This is just gives you the dashboard and then it gives you this. And then now you can set
Yeah.
it up, you can customize it.
because I seen it before, I done it before, but I was like, what one, which one did I click? Okay, that makes sense. I done it before, I couldn't figure it out today. So how did you save this? So every time you go there, how did you send it to yourself weekly? Because last time you can,
No, I just open it up today and now I have the information I need for it because
It's
it
just
does it for me
there,
every
right?
7 days.
Because her current search, she saved it. So right now it
I
comes
saved
up
it.
automatically. She doesn't need to do anything. It's already there.
that's what I
You
want to
just-
do. How do you save it? Where is the save button?
That's what I'm telling you. When you create your initial search, you see right there, a green button on the bottom, save.
Oh, okay,
Looks
so
different
that,
for me. It
So you
doesn't
say
look the same for me.
customize, you
Mhm.
customize, you go here, you customize, and you go county or city. You can just write San Mateo County
okay.
here.
Okay, I don't have to do each city by city. I can do like just a bunch of them at once and have the average of all of them, right?
Yeah, you can put them, all the cities right here,
Hmm.
and then you go save, and it.
I thought it would be more
Here.
interesting by area if people was
And
like,
you can
okay,
do rentals, multi-unit. There's,
So
you see, I
my-
can change.
My market watch, so I have a few different searches saved. I have one for all residential, and then I also have it divided just for condos, just for JC, and just for single residency.
and
So
then you
I
just go
can-
on that,
And
okay.
on the top, I can switch which market report I want to see. I want to see how many new condos came in, or I want to see overall. And you can save as many you want, as many reports as you want. You can have it just for single residency, or just for condos, or for everything. So the one thing I don't have on my end, and I looked and maybe Karen, because you got to work with both interfaces before. I don't have the agents. How many agents? I couldn't find it anywhere.
Hmm.
So for example, we don't have it in San Francisco unless it's somewhere where I couldn't find it and just didn't know. So
The one thing I did do, I called some car
Oh, yeah.
and I asked them.
you call them every week?
I called MLS and I asked them, how can I search?
Oh, really? Okay, what did they say?
And they showed me. So for me, I go to search. Let's say I go into residential. And I go, I'm going to do county, I'm going to do San Mateo.
Okay.
So on the San Mateo County, sometimes like if you want to do on my phone, you have this where you say San Mateo County, and then there's no option for San Mateo City.
Oh,
Because it's the
I don't know.
same.
I don't know how it is there.
So weird.
And then I go to add, and then I go agents.
Interesting. Available field. So you manually type it in.
I think there is another way. I think there was another way. I have to remember now. I think it was at first, I did that at first, and then afterwards it was
What's additional field? So you add anything you want additional.
additional is, it's like if you're searching for
How many fireplaces you want in the house?
fireplaces in the house.
Oh, you guys are like.
Co-buyer agents, listing agent, office agent. So there was another way. Back, hold on. Let me remember. Search, and I think it was
Agent.
agents. There you go. General. And then I did it by, it was by city name. So I went in and I put all the cities. So for me, it would be Redwood. This is how I found it actually. San Mateo, San Carlos. And then I go results. I have 500 plus.
Well, that's
1,246.
No, but that's amount of pages. It's not
That's
amount.
No,
That's agent's name. Look, agent's name, their MLS, broker's code, and office name.
No, these are the pages, Karen. Shows you 1 to 25 of 1,246.
because there's 1,246 agents.
But
you know, because there's 1 to 5, 1 to 5.
oh,
page.
okay. I see it. So the
Okay.
25 per page.
Exactly, but there is total 1,246.
So this is
Got
a good thing when you have like, when you want to send a new list and you can send it to all of them. Like you have a listing. I'm have listing from Oakland now. People sending lists from all different places.
Yeah, I mean, you could download all these agents.
Then
Yeah.
you blast it. I have a listing. It doesn't matter where they are. You know, they send it from Oakland. I get every day Oakland, Berkeley, Conner Crosser agents like reaching out to me if I have buyers for them in that area because people are buying there, moving from here and buying there.
A lot of people that are using that and doing that type of networking or marketing, they are using certain companies that do it for you. I mean, you can do it for a lot freer if you're using Chipmonkey or I call it Chipmonkey.
Chipmonkey.
Oh, it's called
MailChimp.
MailChimp. You know,
monkey.
but the monkey, I always laugh about it. It's the monkey, MailChimp. You know, so you can buy from them, from these companies, this information, you know, and I have them a lot, so I can look through my database and I can tell you, for example, there, okay. You know, they are using, this is Celebes, but it's powered by Active Pipe. If you look up Active Pipe, for us, if I do this and I send a multi-messenger, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it with MailChimp. It's going to say powered by MailChimp over here. You know, so this type of advertisement is done by a company that you buy it out, and I've done that many times. You know, with different kinds. That was just, you know, an example for something there. But back to here, the dashboard, you know, putting the information.
I knew I was missing one key ingredient. It's like I've seen it before. Like I was like breaking my brain today. I think I had a lot of thoughts in my
But
mind.
also, you guys, look at this information, which also kind of baffled me.
Okay, go on.
Total listings in May, then in June, July, and these are in October. I'm
Yeah.
talking about all residential.
Yeah. A lot less.
131, it goes down to 163. No, it's more. It's more, right? What is, how are you doing it?
Well, from 900 to 100.
Oh, 900 to 100.
But also, it's at 900. It's not the data I put in, so it kind of doesn't make sense.
Oh, okay. I was
I don't
looking on
know.
the side
So
here.
this
131.
this is also all San Mateo County.
Oh, but this is San Francisco, a sub-county, so that's a wrong.
So,
wrong,
this
entry.
we, you know, this we will take out for you, because that's not, you know, not for, because now in yours, the data that we are collecting is the one that you're putting over here. You know?
Yeah.
So,
Okay, now I feel better. Like from 1,000 listings to 100, it cannot be.
you know, but now that but now you also can see what's happening each week, right?
Yes.
Look at this. The first week here, the second week here, the third week here, you know, so you are starting to have a picture
Yes.
of what, you know, San Francisco County looks like. And this is San Mateo County, and we're on the 17th. So active, we have like 30. And I'm doing for 3 cities, okay? So I can't compare it here because it's not this. Mara is doing San Mateo. You're going to have to put that information here, Mara. Okay. And that will build you a graph. Okay, after you know, so start putting that information here based on the dates. Total listings, new listings in the last 7 days, new pending. So if I did, okay, total listings, let's look here. I'm going to go matrix, I'm search single family home, and I'm going to do, you know, my cities are going to be Redwood City, and I'm putting them, all 3 of them, San Carlos, Belmont, okay, I put these, now I want them active. There's 173, you see? Now I want to know how much was new in the last week.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to go days on market. You see this until 7. Okay, so let's put, I'm going to put here more than 20, I'm going to put 50. So now I have, if I go down to 7 days, because did you see what I did here? I pressed on days on market.
Yeah.
And then I went, and I'm going to go up to 7 days. So there were 33 brand new listings that put in last week, 33. So this is active, new. Okay, so if I go back here, I'm going to put here. So active 173. New is going to be 33. Now, another thing is, where is it where we were doing that?
Probably the last one.
Okay, here. I'm going to save this search. Okay. I'm going to save these cities. I'm going to call it, I'm going to call it
Market report
core, because we're calling it core
data.
data market for Karen. Okay, so they know that that's my market that I'm sharing with you guys. And we're doing different types because we want to see what's this whole Bay Area doing, right? So I'm going to save this for later. I'm going to use the same one. Okay, I can and now I'm seeing, okay, so what else was it? I got 33 now, pending in the last 7 days. So I need
But it would be much easier, Karen, if you go back to that same report that you did the search, click on that report and then look at statistics and it'll give you all the information in kind of in printable form so you can fill it up much easier. At
So
least
this
that's how-
one does that. Okay. In my customization, I have Belmont, Redwood City, San Carlos, and I need to add to it Menlo Park.
Yes, but it doesn't show you, for example, average price. And if you click on that statistic, it will show that, at least for me.
Yes, I don't have average price here. I
But
don't.
that's what I'm saying.
What's that?
That's what I'm saying. If you do want to see it, to add to that
Go
spreadsheet
to the stats, click up on the list there, stats.
on top.
On top next to financial, stats, real list. Go up. No. Yep,
Right there, stats, statistics, exactly. And for me, when I click on my report,
the average day on the market sells all to the left, systems present.
Okay, well, so we do want to know, so cities, I'm going to try this here. I'm going to write Redwood.
but it should be already same report. It should already be in there.
Yeah, you have to pick the system presence on the left side of the screen. Average day on the sell, list price, copy months, days are over the time, listens. I don't think it has that.
Click on that icon, printable, on the very bottom in the green. Yeah, let's see what it shows. No results.
No results because I haven't, you know.
But you already have it.
them because I have to customize them. I would do.
Wait, Karen, you already have it saved, so you don't need to do it again.
I have something else saved. I don't have this one saved.
This is a different thing. She has to restart it.
So statistics, I'm gonna the statistics I want is active,
Base price or sold price, sale price
contingent.
average.
Does it save both? No, it just saves one at a time. Statistic. I'm gonna do cities. Time frame, I want past, not past years, year to date.
Custom on the very bottom, you can do 7 days.
Custom, and
Guessing.
then I'm gonna do,
I'm guessing, I don't know.
yeah. Well, now we are in October,
Yeah,
22. Okay, so it gives me a month.
just put October to October and then put the date. You want to do weekly or monthly? Oh, yeah,
Weekly.
already know.
By month, no, okay.
Put October to doesn't give you a date, huh? Put
mm.
October again. Let's see what happens.
Anyway, I could play with this to see a little bit more advanced options. Let's see.
By month, by week.
Well, we want it by cities. Okay, maybe yours is a little bit different, Anat, in San Francisco.
We do have many differences in our interfaces.
Yeah, a lot, I know. Because to me, I would put the in Redwood City, here it is, and then I would add I wonder if it does multiple cities.
Mm.
Yes, should. What happens when you click on presets, which is on the very left of your screen, right next to customize? Listing by range. Yeah, you should be able to add all those. Let's see. Days to sell over time. Yeah, no, that's not relevant. Mm.
It's
But
interesting.
Karen, maybe if you go into search, maybe it'll give you different options. Search right next to the matrix. Okay, if you click on residential. Okay, here you'll be able to, I feel like here you have more options to customize, including dates.
That's where I save them here. You know, let's see what's market reports here. Sold price analysis. Okay. This is best for us, which is to be, you know, doing that, what I did, active. I put the name in there. But also I can recently look at what I did, active. This is where I was before.
Okay, these are your results. Now, let's see on the very bottom. Let's see, core.
So active was 170.
On the very bottom, click on statistics, on stats. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing because it's not, I don't have the same.
Oh, look, charts tabular.
I would have to do this, and then I would go to stats.
Then say tabular.
See, and now it gives you all the information. Average, days on market. Okay, that's basic. You have more options. If you click on that arrow above basic,
The basics go.
market area, status and price. So yeah, there we go.
But I went by marketed area, so let's see.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that's the address. That's all the.
El Camino Menlo Park, O'Connor area. They're not Morgan Ranch, High School area. Farm Hill Estates, that's up in Emerald Hills, Cordilleras Estates.
So statistics make it easier to see that weekly matrix update, market report matrix. That's how kind of I found my numbers.
Let's see what's status by and price. Let's see that. There you go. It keeps see the price increase. See minimum, max, average. That's where you need average price. See the average price.
It's the same. No, it's not the right one. Status and type. Residential single family home.
Yeah.
I like this part, but I would love to get it to the area, you know.
But but it is by the area because you already selected that search. It was specific to the cities you selected.
No, but that's for neighborhood. She's talking about area like Redwood City by city, right?
Uh,
But that's what the
so-
initial report was. It's exactly what the Belmont, Redwood City, and I can't remember what was the other one.
No, it has all 25. One, Belmont, that's 4 estates, that's 1. Okay, I mean, yeah, we need to play with this a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe we should see if they have any classes. I know they always offer some classes on it.
They do. They do constantly. Okay.
All right, you guys.
Okay. I have to go. I'm
Until
gonna
next
do a
time,
pumpkin.
we have lenders next time.
Okay.
Okay, see you, good night.
Yeah.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.